So fitness and finance are two categories dominating our New Year's resolutions. Later on in the show, we're helping you with those fitness goals. But right now, we are tackling money woes. Here to show us how to start living debt-free is financial expert Shannon Lee Simmons. Welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so there's this whole shame and blame mentality when it comes to money. A lot of people can't even talk about money because of that shame. So how does this play into us not paying off our debt?
Yeah, I think that the shame and blame mentality is something that's demotivating. It's the thing that makes you feel like, I'm bad with money. Why am I like this? I'll never get there. And often it leads to not opening credit card bills or not logging onto bank apps and stuff because you're so ashamed of what you are afraid of that you don't want to look at it right in the eye. And so that whole shame and blame mentality has got to go, because if we don't look at our stuff, make a plan, and feel motivated and hopeful that we can actually see it through to the end, then why would we bother, right? So that's the first order of business with money, is to not feel shameful about it.
You just gotta do it. I mean, like, I get the tingly feeling in my stomach too, but you just gotta log on. Just do it, just tackle it. It's hard anytime.
Totally.
But just do it.
Yeah.
So you're talking about an emotional win. And this was something I'd never heard before, because we often hear pay off the highest interest first, but sometimes an emotional win is the way to go first.
Yeah, and so the key that in the book that I talk about is, I really want people to be motivated beyond the first, 30 to 60 days of a debt repayment plan. So most people are like, yeah, I'm gonna tackle my debt, I'm gonna pay this off. And then what happens in month 5, month 6, 7, 8? Life happens, and often you wanna give up if you don't feel like it's getting anywhere. And so if there's a debt that actually is causing you more shame and more uncomfortable feelings than maybe your highest interest debt, I often have given permission to people that are my clients to be like, we can tackle that first. Great example is, like, you have a credit card charging you 19%, that's $3,000, and you also have $2,000 outstanding with your parents, and you can't even go home for Thanksgiving because you can't look them in the eye. And every time you post on social media with you going out for dinner, you're like, I'm shameful. It's okay that we attack that one first, even though you might be leaving some of the higher interest rate debt till later, as long as you recognize what the extra interest is that you're gonna pay, and you're like, okay, is that extra $150 in interest worth it to me to get this emotional monkey off my back? And a lot of times people will get further in their plan because of that.
Okay, motivating ourselves every single step of the way.
Emotional wins are so important for motivation.
Okay, so what is a financial tripwire?
Those are the things that make us fall off the financial wagon. So you're going along and everything is in control, and then all of a sudden life happens to you and you're like, oh no, how do I move forward? Some of them are out of our control. Your pet is sick or something like that. And some of them are in our control. And they're things that are routine sometimes, like, oh, my favorite store had a sale and they just alerted me and the email went off on my phone, and like, click, I wanna buy that. Or sometimes on your lunch break, if you're walking around the same stores and it's like you're bored and you just keep mindlessly spending. So the tripwires that we can control, that we wanna find, are the emotional and the routine tripwires that are in our control, that we can get out of, that are usually things that are repetitive behavior that lead to mindless spending. And those are the reasons why we stay in debt or we don't stick to our financial plans.
Shannon, thank you so much for coming on the show. I know it's hard with the post-holiday spending, so thank you so much for setting us off on the right foot.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So Shannon, by the way, is the author of Living Debt Free. If you need to reset, this is the book for you. You can check it out.